What if I told you that Napoleon Hill, after spending decades studying the secrets of success, discovered something far more terrifying than failure itself? What if I told you that right now, as you listen to these words, you are living with a fear so profound, so deeply buried in your subconscious, that it haunts your dreams and whispers in your ear every single night when you lay your head on your pillow? This is not just another motivational story about achieving your dreams or reaching your goals. This is about the silent terror that lives within every human soul, the paralyzing fear of reaching the end of your life, only to discover that you lived as nothing more than a pale shadow of who you were truly meant to become. Napoleon Hill spent his entire life uncovering the principles that separate the successful from the unsuccessful, the wealthy from the poor, the fulfilled from the empty. But in his deepest research, in his most profound moments of clarity, he stumbled upon a truth so devastating that it shook him to his very core. He realized that the cemetery is the richest place on earth, not because of the gold buried with ancient kings, but because of the dreams that were never pursued, the ideas that were never executed, the talents that were never developed, and the potential that was never realized. Every single day, millions of people walk this earth carrying within them the seeds of greatness, yet they choose to water the weeds of mediocrity instead. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the final moment of your life, and suddenly you are confronted not by the judgment of God for your sins, but by something infinitely more devastating. You come face to face with the person you should have become. There they stand before you, radiant with the light of fulfilled potential, embodying everything you could have achieved if you had just found the courage to step beyond your comfort zone. This other version of yourself looks directly into your eyes, and with a voice filled with both sadness and accusation, they ask you the most haunting question you will ever hear. Why did you choose to kill me? Why did you choose to live as a coward when I was here, waiting to be born? Why did you prefer the fleeting approval of others over the eternal satisfaction of honoring your true calling? Why did you choose comfort over greatness, security over significance, and conformity over the magnificent obsession that burned within your heart? This is the judgment that truly matters, not the judgment of any external force, but the devastating confrontation with your own unlived life. Napoleon Hill understood that the greatest tragedy is not the person who tries and fails, but the person who never tries at all, who lives their entire existence in the shadow of what could have been. Every night when you close your eyes and try to sleep, they appear, the ghosts of your unused talents, the specters of your abandoned dreams, the phantoms of your unrealized potential. They dance around your bed in the darkness, whispering their accusations, reminding you of every opportunity you let slip away, every moment when fear conquered faith, every instance when you chose the easy path over the path that would have led you to greatness. These ghostly visitors know you intimately because they are parts of yourself that you chose to murder through neglect, procrastination, and the slow poison of settling for less than you deserve. One ghost whispers, "Remember me? I was that brilliant business idea you had when you were 25 years old, the one that made your heart race with excitement and possibility. You promised you would develop me someday when you had more money, more time, more confidence, but someday never came, and now I am nothing but a regret that haunts your sleepless nights." Another specter materializes and says, "And what about me? I was that book you were going to write, that story that was burning inside you, demanding to be told to the world. You said you would give me life when you found the perfect moment, but you spent so much time waiting for perfection that you never began, and now I am just another ghost in your collection of what-ifs and could-have-beens." The most terrifying truth that Napoleon Hill discovered is that these ghosts do not rest in peace. They torment you because they know they deserved better. They know they were meant for greatness, but you chose to bury them alive under layers of excuses, fears, and the suffocating blanket of playing it safe. Every single day that you choose mediocrity over magnificence, You commit a small act of suicide, killing off another piece of your potential, another fragment of your divine nature, and these murdered dreams do not simply disappear. They accumulate like a cancer in your soul, creating a growing tumor of regret that will eventually consume you from the inside out. But perhaps the most devastating revelation that Hill uncovered was that your greatest enemy is not lurking somewhere out in the world, waiting to sabotage your dreams. Your most formidable opponent lives within you, has complete access to your thoughts 24 hours a day, knows every weakness in your psychological armor, and understands exactly which buttons to press to keep you trapped in a prison of your own making. This internal enemy has studied you more carefully than any external adversary ever could, because this enemy is a part of you born from every past failure. Every moment of embarrassment, every time someone laughed at your dreams or told you that you were not good enough, smart enough, or special enough to achieve something extraordinary. This inner saboteur whispers in your ear with a voice that sounds remarkably like your own. Who do you think you are to dream so big? Don't you remember the last time you tried something ambitious and fell flat on your face? People are going to laugh at you, judge you, and talk behind your back if you dare to step outside the boundaries of what is expected and acceptable. You don't have the talent, the education, the connections, or the natural ability that successful people possess. You are ordinary, average, unremarkable, and it would be better for everyone if you just accepted your limitations and stopped pretending that you could ever amount to anything significant. Napoleon Hill called this the great mental war that every human being must fight, a daily battle for the possession of your own soul that begins the moment you wake up each morning and continues until you close your eyes at night. On one side of this battlefield stands your divine potential, your higher self, the magnificent version of who you could become, shouting with the voice of inspiration. Rise up. Today is the day you begin to honor the greatness that lives within you. You have been gifted with unique talents, perspectives, and capabilities that the world desperately needs, and you have a sacred obligation to develop and share these gifts before your time on this earth comes to an end. On the other side of this war stands fear, doubt, and the seductive voice of mediocrity, whispering, "Stay in bed a little longer, it won't make any difference. Don't take that risk, you might fail, and then everyone will see that you were never as special as you pretended to be. Why struggle and sacrifice when you could just coast along in comfortable numbness, avoiding the possibility of both great failure and great success?" The tragic truth is that most people lose this battle before they even realize they are fighting it, surrendering their dreams to their fears without ever mounting a serious defense. Here is where Hill made his most profound discovery about the nature of human potential. You cannot defeat this internal enemy by running away from it, ignoring it, or pretending it does not exist. The only way to win this war is to face your fears head-on every single day, in every small decision and every moment of choice, between growth and comfort, between courage and cowardice, between honoring your potential and betraying your dreams. This daily confrontation requires something that most people fundamentally misunderstand: the practice of discipline, not as a form of self-punishment or harsh restriction, but as the highest expression of self-love and self-respect that a human being can demonstrate. When you discipline yourself to wake up early, even when your body wants to sleep, when you force yourself to do the difficult work that nobody else can see or appreciate, you are saying to that magnificent version of yourself who lives in potential, "I love you too much to kill you with neglect. I respect you too much to betray you with excuses. I honor you too much to let fear keep you buried in the graveyard of what could have been." Every act of discipline is a resurrection, a daily choice to breathe life into the dreams that fear has tried to suffocate, a deliberate decision to feed your potential instead of starving it, a conscious commitment to become the person you were designed to be rather than settling for the person you have allowed yourself to remain. Napoleon Hill understood that success is not a destination you arrive at, but a daily practice of choosing your higher self over your lower self, your possibilities over your limitations, your courage over your fear. The most beautiful truth that emerges from Hill's decades of research is this: the final judgment is not waiting for you at the end of your life. It is happening right now in this very moment, as you choose between the person you are and the person you could become. Every morning when you wake up, you stand at the crossroads between mediocrity and greatness, between a life of quiet desperation and a life of magnificent obsession, between dying with your music still inside you and leaving this world knowing that you gave everything you had to the full expression of your unique gifts. The cemetery does not have to be the richest place on earth. If you decide today that your dreams will not die with you, that your potential will not be wasted, that your talents will not remain buried under the heavy soil of fear and procrastination. Right now, in this moment, that superior version of yourself is not dead. They are simply waiting, hoping, believing that you will finally find the courage to give them life. They are whispering to you through your deepest longings, calling to you through your wildest dreams, beckoning you toward a life of purpose, passion, and profound fulfillment. The question that will determine the entire trajectory of your existence is not whether you will die someday. Death is inevitable for every living being. The question that matters, the question that will echo through eternity, the question that your soul will answer with either pride or regret is this: will you truly live before you die? Will you honor the magnificent potential that lives within you? Or will you take it to your grave, making the cemetery just a little bit richer and the world just a little bit poorer? The choice is yours, and the time to choose is now.